friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I got some interesting news, and they have to do with the nationalization of businesses in the so-called capitalist, democratic, free countries, or the Western countries, the Western European countries. Remember, maybe you don't remember, but I tell you now. I I made a video with Uniper, I think it's called, energy giant in Germany. And German government is thinking of nationalizing it, or at least buying some stake in it, some investing in it somehow. It's not going to become a shareholder, but at least he's going to somehow infuse some money into that company so it doesn't go belly up. That means it's going to bail out the company that is not profitable, which is kind of unfair because in a free capitalist system, if you can't make it, you get out of business, and then other companies will take your place. Some companies will have to take your place because there's going to be the demand, and there will be the suppliers, and the suppliers compete allegedly in the capitalist countries. But if the government intervenes and supports the companies, then what do you do with the capitalist system? The problem is you have these big businesses that are too big to fall, and then we are bailing them out so they don't fall, because they will provide us services. But they are supposed to fall if they're not profitable. And if they're not profitable, that means their business model is wrong and they're not competitive on the market. So then why are they there? It's the same thing with, let's say, me and, let's say, a house. I go and sign, a mortgage with a bank because I can't pay, I don't know, $400,000 for a house, for example, cash, and you get a loan, and the loan has an interest rate, and you have to make your own calculations, and you get the interest rate fixed, or you have it variable, flexible. It depends how you deal. And then after you do that, you make a calculation how much income you have, spending, and so on, and you can afford it or you can't afford it. Let's say after I sign the papers and everything is good, I go to work and I get fired for being, I don't know, I do something stupid. Or let's say my job just gets, restructured. So I get fired. I just get bye-bye. So then what do I do with the house? Well, if I can't pay it, do you think that my neighborhood will put money to bail me out? Do you think the government will give me money so I can pay for my house? No, this is what's going to happen. The bank is going to give me a deadline, 1 or 2 or 3 months, and they're going to say if you don't pay it, then you're going to be bye-bye out, and we're going to resell your house, or not your house, the house. This is how it works in with us. With them over there, with us is very capitalist system. Over there is very socialist system, if you know what I mean. So we have another example here, and that's France. And France, France is a quasi-capitalist country from to start with, and I'm sorry to say that, but that's the reality. They say they're capitalist, but a lot of things are nationalized over there, and they're supported by the government. And let's go with this article, which comes from it comes from Republic World, from today here, tomorrow over there, which is July 7th over there, 2022. And this is the title: France plans to renationalize electricity giant EDF amid energy crisis. So France will renationalize the previously in-debt electricity giant. Why is it in debt? It's not profitable. It's doing something wrong. Maybe, pays this, too much salary, too much in income for the working people they hired. Maybe there's too many over there. Maybe, I don't know, they don't make good deals. Maybe, they're not profitable. So they're in debt. We're in debt. And that means that you can't pay the loans you took, right? So that means you're not profitable. What are you going to do about it? I know there are some companies who are so much in debt that they will never be able probably to pay the debt. It's just that the bank still gets something from them. Otherwise, will get nothing. So even let's say you have a company who uh, uh, cannot pay its monthly share, let's say, of the loan, can return it, can make the payment, but it makes half of it. Now the bank is making a calculation and says, okay, if I just say, okay, that's it, I'm not going to accept anything from you, I don't know, you're going to have to pay or bye-bye. But what's the company going to do? The company is going to do a little, bankruptcy, and they will sell whatever buildings they have and whatever they have, and they will try to pay here and there, and the bank gets how much it can get, but that would not be enough. It's not going to be enough to cover. And what they do, at least they say, okay, this guy at least is paying something, and in the long run, maybe let's say in 5 years, how much the company pays will cover for its bankruptcy if they would sell their property and so on. So I still win in the long run if it's not going even worse. So the French Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne told the Parliament, and I'm quoting, "We must have full control over our electricity production and performance." Who's we? Who's we? You, the government, the people. Why the people? Anyway, according to the Guardian newspaper, we must ensure our sovereignty in the face of the consequences of the war and the colossal challenges to come. That's why I confirm to you the state's intention to own, guess how much? What's the percentage? 100% of EDF's capital, she furthermore added. So yes, there's a lot of when we are losing, it's us, But when they're winning, it's just they, When they're losing, it's us all together. Let's get tax you a little bit more. Don't buy this. Don't do this. But when it's about winning, they have bonuses and all that. It's just very fair. It's okay. France is gonna turn communist anyway. I think it's almost there. It's close. From I have friends living in I have friends living in France, and they live in other places in Europe, and they tell me first experience how capitalist France is. So nevertheless, it's a quasi socialist something. It's like even worse than Canada. And why I say even worse, because Canada is again, it is socialist, capitalist, intertwined, but nevertheless, you got the communist Trudeau, so what do you want? You're going that way. So yes, first is Uniper, the German giant. It's going to be nationalized by the Germans. Now it's going to be, excusez-moi, it's going to be these guys here in France. They're starting it. And who triggered that? It's not the war in Ukraine. It's not the Russians. It's your leaders who thought that it's good to place sanctions on Russia. All right, well, these are the consequences. I've been talking about this since this country started with their talk about not nationalizing, putting sanctions on Russia from the very beginning. We'll see how when that's gonna affect the population. We'll see how the population will react. And the French, as they are this and there, they know how to, I don't want to say riot, but they know how to protest, if you know what I mean, better than others. But for everything. That's a very vibrant society over there in France. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.